Welcome to Karma's Harvest. Today we witness the fall of a soul consumed by her own brilliance. This is the tale of a weaver whose vanity dared to challenge the heavens, and the chilling price she paid for her reflection in the loom. In a small village nestled between emerald hills and silver rivers, there lived a woman named Elara. Her hands were not merely tools, they were instruments of a divine-like grace. When Elara sat at her loom, the rhythmic thump-clack of the shuttle sounded like the heartbeat of the earth itself. The fabrics she produced were wonders to behold, silks that felt like liquid, moonlight and wools as warm as a summer afternoon. People traveled from distant kingdoms just to catch a glimpse of her work, and for a long time, Elara was the pride of her people. However, admiration is a double-edged sword. As the praise grew louder, the walls of Elara's humility began to crumble. She stopped looking at her craft as a gift and began to see it as a power that placed her above all others. She no longer thanked the sun for the colors of her dyes or the sheep for the softness of their coats. She believed the beauty began and ended with her. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in breathtaking strokes of violet, crimson, and gold, the villagers gathered to marvel at the sunset. But Elara stood apart, her arms crossed, a sneer curling her lips. "Why do you gasp at such fleeting vapors?" she scoffed. "The clouds are messy, their edges frayed by the wind. My cloth has more precision. My patterns have more soul. I tell you now, my loom produces threads, finer and more beautiful than the very clouds that drift above us." The air grew cold. A silence fell over the village, heavy and expectant. An old woman, draped in a tattered gray shawl, stepped forward from the shadows. "Child," the woman whispered, her voice like dry leaves skittering on stone. To take pride in one's work is a virtue, but to claim superiority over the heavens is a path to darkness. The clouds are the breath of the world. Do not invite a harvest you are not prepared to reap. Elara laughed, a sharp, brittle sound. "Let the heavens defend their own beauty, then. If there is a power greater than my hands, let it show me a stitch I cannot master." In an instant, the old woman transformed. The gray shawl became a cloak of shifting starlight, and her eyes burned with the intensity of ancient suns. It was the weaver of fates, the silent watcher of all earthly crafts. The villagers fell to their knees, but Elara remained standing, her chin tilted high in defiance. "You have chosen your thread, Elara," the goddess said, her voice vibrating through the very bones of the earth. "You believe your work surpasses the majesty of the sky. You disdain the clouds that bring life-giving rain and the sun that gives color to your world. Since you find the light of heaven unnecessary for your vanity, you shall weave without it." The goddess raised a hand, and the vibrant colors of Elara's workshop began to bleed away. The rich crimsons turned to dull ash, the deep blues faded into a haunting gray. Elara reached for her loom, but her fingers grew thin and elongated. Her many colorful spools of silk withered into a single, sticky essence within her. "From this moment," the goddess decreed, "your ambition shall be your prison. You shall weave for eternity, but never again will you touch the softness of silk or the warmth of wool. Your threads will be made of shadow and dust, fragile, sticky, and gray. And because you deemed yourself better than the clouds and the sun, you shall never look upon them again." Before Elara could scream, the ground beneath her gave way. She tumbled into a cold, damp crevice beneath the earth, a place where the sun's rays could never reach. Her body shifted, twisting into a form that mirrored her inner darkness. She became small, many-legged, and burdened with a relentless urge to spin. Now, in the deepest corners of the world, in the shadows of forgotten cellars, and the dampness of lightless caves, Elara continues her work. She weaves intricate webs, patterns of geometric perfection, that shimmer briefly in the dark. But there is no color in them. There is no warmth. They are traps for the unwary, made of the very bitterness that consumed her soul. She spends her eternity feeling the vibrations of a world she can no longer see, forever spinning a gray imitation of the clouds she once despised. The weaver who sought to outshine the sun is now the silent prisoner of the dark, proving that when pride outgrows the heart, the harvest is always a lonely one. Remember, the gifts we possess are bridges to connect us to the world, not pedestals to raise us above it. For even the finest thread can become a noose, if spun with the hands of arrogance.